In this lesson, we'll cover all the different types of instances. We will look at the on-demand instances with a low workload, or the reserved instances that require a 1-year subscription. This category is divided in several subcategories. On the one hand, you have the reserved instances for long activities, and on the other hand, you have the reserved convertible instances, useful for a more flexible use. They allow to modify the instances during the use, contrary to the reserved instances, where it is only possible to use a unique and same type of instance. Then there are the scheduled reserved instances. The machines are then started up according to a specific time slot. Moreover, you have spot instances useful for more shorter activities. These are inexpensive, but it is possible to lose the instance. They are less reliable than the classic instances. There are also dedicated instances. For these, the server is unique to the company. It is not shared with anyone else. Finally, you have also the ability to contract dedicated hosts. They allow to reserve a whole physical server. It offers the possibility to control the placement of all the instances. These instances are useful when operating an Oracle database. They allow to have a visual on the processes and other elements. Let's move on to the on-demand instances, for which we only pay for the use of our instance. The billing starts after the first minute and is billed per second. These are certainly more expensive, but there is no subscription cost. On-demand instances are without commitment and can be cancelled at any time. They are recommended for short or uninterrupted workloads, meaning when it is not possible to predict the behavior of an application or a service. Then there are the on-demand instances, which are more in line with IT usage. These can be up to 75% cheaper than the on-demand instances. It is necessary to pay an amount in advance for the future use of the instance with a minimum duration of 1 year. So this duration is flexible. It can go from 1 year to 3 years. Moreover, reserved instances are specific to a type of instance, so it is impossible to modify them during the use. These instances are ideal for applications with little evolution, like database servers. If you're looking forward to create a database server for 3 years, this type of instance is highly recommended. Convertible reserved instances are of the same type as the classic reserved instances, but it is possible to change the type of instance during the use. This manifests itself by the possibility of modifying a large C4 by a large C5 following a load increase or the implementation of new prerequisites. Then we have the planned reserved instances. They allow to plan the launch of an instance at a defined period. If we take the example of a database server, it is possible to select a period from 3 days to a week or even to a month. This type of instance allows to create a periodicity and thus to use the resources only when needed. Then we have the spot instances. They allow up to 90% of savings compared to a classic on-demand instance. However, these instances can be lost according to supply and demand. If the maximum price you invest is lower than the market price, the instance will be awarded to the highest bidder. For example, if you want to pay $10 for your spot instance per week, then when you apply for a spot instance and it is allocated to you, it is possible they will be allocated to someone else if their amount offered is higher than yours. Nevertheless, this type of offer ensures the best value for money on AWS. The price difference is over 80%. Spot instances are ideal for fault-tolerant users, such as script execution and data analysis. Since those are one-time tasks, in case that the mission stops, they can be restarted quite quickly. Spot instances are not suitable for large workloads or long period of times, since the instance can be lost. For example, if you're using a spot instance as a database, it's even possible to lose the contained data. A good combination would be to have dedicated instances acting as databases and on-demand instances for more occasional tasks. Now let's take a look at dedicated EC2 hosts. They are meant for personal use. They allow you to have full control over the placement of the instances. You even have the possibility to see the hardware and the core of the server. This type of instance is useful when the user has to manage a lot of licenses. The creator has an eye on the number of processors. This type of instance can only be linked to the account of the creator and for a period exceeding a year. It allows the creator to define a price adapted to the licenses, but on the other hand, this type of instance is more expensive. Dedicated EC2 hosts are ideal for applications with complex licensing models, but also if the company's security policy prohibits sharing server with third parties, or if compatibility needs are important. Dedicated instances run on a hardware that is reserved to you, so it is possible to share hardware on the same AWS account. However, it is impossible to move the instance to other zones. For that, you have to stop it first. The following table shows the different characteristics between dedicated instances and dedicated hosts. In general, we can see that a dedicated host is much more interesting and offer more services. But how do you make your choice? Choose an on-demand instance if your needs are punctual. However, you must be ready to pay a lot of money. A reserve instance can be selected if the use exceeds a year. Spot instances are useful for punctual needs. However, there is a risk of losing the instances because of the price on the market. We select a dedicated host if the needs of our activity require the rental of a physical server. Here you have a price list of the different type of hosts. As you can see, on-demand host will cost 10 cents, while a spot instance is much cheaper than other instances. Reserve instances cost on average more than 6 cents. The price decreases if an advance payment is made. A 36-month reserve instance will cost almost 4 cents. The price changes again if you pay in advance. You should be aware that by choosing a different type of instance, there is the possibility to make different type of savings from 10% to 90%.